Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham Jack. You are a professional game master. This channel is proudly sponsored by the following publishers, starting with Shotgun Fantasy. This is an expansion for the Everyday Heroes tabletop RPG. It's an isekai expansion perfect to bring modern fictional heroes into fantasy situations. So, if you want to use your boomstick against a dragon, if you want to wield your machine gun and science against the horrifying giants and trolls and dark elves or whatever, this is the expansion for you. Then we have Shades of Vengeance with their empowered solo rulebook Kickstarter. This is a complete solo game with a character creation process, task resolution, solo process, but you can roleplay as a superhero, supervillain, or anything in between. The Kickstarter is ongoing, definitely check it out. Then we have Dead Tree Studios, publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls experiencing high adventure. In a world that doesn't fully accept them, they have also released the pay-what-you-want tabletop RPG, Daughters of Lamb, where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. Next we have the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products, and check out their sword and sorcery game, Savage Swords. It has received a complete makeover. All of the AI assets have been replaced with handcrafted illustrations, layout, everything. All of the links to these amazing publishers will be in the description and in the pinned comment as well. This time, I am reviewing the graphic novel. I didn't ask for this. This is about the struggles of teenagers, or even kids, you could say, that have had their lives exposed to their world, to the entire world, because of their influencer parents. Also known as sharenting, as it is referred to here. Now, let's talk about the quality of the PDF. This is going to be released as a physical product, as I understand it. The release date will be in the description of this video. My major criticism, my major criticism, is that when it comes to the PDF, as you can see, some of the art looks very blurry. So, I hope that is fixed in the final product. Another criticism is that this is a lengthy volume, 210 pages, so no bookmarks, no hyperlinks, so it's going to be somewhat difficult to navigate the PDF if you want to get to a particular part of the document. But apart from that, everything else is good in quality, in terms of quality. Everything is well written. You have names such as Jenny Wood as the writer, Josh Cornelon as the artist, Michael E. Wiggum as the colorist, Charles Pritchett as the letterer, just to name a few of the names. But the panels, the colors, the lettering, the images, the design of the characters themselves is really good. Like, you will expect that because of the grainy, blurry images, there will be some other quality issues, but no. There were only a few instances where the characters looked a bit out of proportion, like you had a character with a very big head, the head was too big, and the arm was too short, but apart from those instances, the quality is really good. I also like it that sometimes they handle the panels as a sort of social media situation. You have like those cell phone type of images and the online conversations as you would have them via Zoom or StreamYard. But overall, I would say that the quality, apart from the grainy thing, is really good. Now let's talk about the contents, and this video is not going to contain spoilers. All of the kids are struggling because their entire lives, their most private, intimate things, are constantly being fed to the world because of their influencer parents. The main character, you could say, is Daisy Kraft. She's and this is quite the dystopia, right? You see a lot of young people confused about who they are, what they are, the self-discovery, the propaganda through college, university. But now that the and YouTube, this has been revealed, this is disclosed, this is unclassified, this is open to all. Now that the Epstein files have been released, you see the PDF file agenda. So there's a lot of manipulation when it comes to the social identities of these kids. And Daisy Kraft, she at the moment of this comic book, of this graphic novel, she considers herself to be asexual, right? She has no sex. She's like a mysterious being. So you see these kids, their entire lives exposed to the public. And because of that, you have the activists. Hey, you identify as this, now you need to belong to our movement, our organization. You are part of it. And even like you have Shane Lee, that is the friend of Daisy. Shane Lee, he is them, theirs, he is, she, they are, I don't know how many genders or no gender or whatever, but apparently he's not queer enough to join the movement. You see, so this is one of the strong points of this comic book. It displays a lot of the crap that people are going through, the young people in current times. You have these activists, these factions, these groups, and don't get me wrong, this is not about the woke shit, that is absolute shit, of course, but you also have it on the conservative side. They want to put things under the rug, when if you're not Christian, you're evil. Burn the Dungeons and Dragons comic books, destroy rock and roll, destroy the movies that have the Lucifer, because it is all evil, and there are nut jobs on every single side. Don't pick sides, just be human, okay? So you see the struggles of these young people that, your parent just revealed that you are non-binary, so now you need to belong to this activist group, and no, you're not enough. You think you are queer, you're not queer enough to join the group. So it's a complete fucking mess. And then you have individuals like poor Casper. Their parents thought that it was a great idea to disclose that he's intolerant to gluten, probably to lactose, right? Oh, and don't get me started with that. When I was, let's say, 20-something, more or less, suddenly I couldn't eat gluten, couldn't eat bread, couldn't eat drink milk. Oh, there's something wrong with you. You're lactose intolerant. You have celiac. YouTube is science fiction. YouTube gets sensitive about this because it has to do with the ads. Suddenly I started to eat organic bread and drink organic milk. Guess what? It's not the dairy and the gluten. The science fiction YouTube. It's the fucking chemicals that they put in those pieces of shit products. Processed food. Science fiction YouTube, this is not true. Everybody consume the fucking crap that they sell to you, please. So now Casper, his acting career and a lot of social endeavors, they have been ruined because nobody wants to be with the kid that has the problems with the gluten and all of that, right? But this comic book, this graphic novel is pretty dystopian because they never truly tackle the issues. It's a true dystopia, a true story of social tragedy. So the kids are living a true hell. Their lives are not easy because of their parents. So they form this group. What was the name of the group? I'm Not Your Baby Anymore. In this group, they share their grievances because of their influencer parents. They are sharing their entire lives, and imagine that. Yeah, we'll get into that later on in the review as to the repercussions of that. But they come up with a plan. They become aware that in places such as France, and I find this very suspicious because France has a lot of sharenting, has a lot of parents that are constantly sharing the lives of their kids. Those that supposedly live simple lives, they are sharing everything about their kids, even when they are very little and in diapers. Are you sure you want the world to see those private moments of your kids with the PDF files in positions of power, with many, who knows how many millions of PDF files in position of power? Do you really want your kids exposed like that? So they realize that in France there is a law to protect the kids from that. So um, the entire rest of the plot is the teens, the kids, they trying to get this law in America, in other places, so that they are protected and their parents cannot exploit them. And that's about it. It's slice of life, pure dystopia of the current times that we are going through, the interesting times. So overall, what do I think about this? I didn't ask for this. I have a mixed opinion about this comic book, this graphic novel. Let's talk about the good. The good first. Perfect exposition of the whole fucking mess that young people are struggling to move through. Trying to be recruited by activist groups. They are trying to find their place in the world, but they cannot. Like, imagine if the parents, they gave so much ammunition to the world to destroy these kids. Oh, you want to be whatever, right? You want to be a politician or participate in some sort of social endeavor. Now, your enemies, they have all of the ammo to use against you because it turns out that you had this problem when you were a kid. You had this sexual identity confusion, and now because of your parents, everybody knows. And now you have been this. You have no chance. They can destroy you easily with that. So as an exposition of the horrible world we are living in, it does a great job. I also like I said, the character designs, despite the blurriness, they are very expressive. But now let's talk about the bad. This is a fucking political piece. Everything can be solved through voting because nobody purchases votes, nobody does frauds, right? And the politicians are so good, they are going to listen to your proposal out of the goodness of their heart. A lot of you that are 3-digit IQ, that are not NPCs, that did not come from the Cabbage Patch, you know that the voting is a fucking fraud. In science fiction YouTube, sometimes it gets very YouTube very touchy with this, right? You see the has been declassified YouTube, MK Ultra, Epstein files, so many people in the news, they always say, this is a huge problem for our democracy. This is a huge threat to our democracy, like robots. Here's the thing about democracy. Science fiction YouTube. Mark Twain. If voting actually worked, they wouldn't allow you to do it. And so many times people have seen that despite all of their votes, this is not about election, it's about selection. About science fiction power groups that have already selected who is going to be in this or that position and what sorts of bills are going to pass, are going to be approved. So yeah, there is this moment when Daisy Kraft, it's like a mini spoiler, she tells a bunch of those people, don't you care about us? And yeah, sorry Daisy, but no, they don't care. They don't care. They care about money, about appearance, about position. You're not in the group. There's a big group, Daisy, and you're not part of it, okay? But in this comic book, there in graphic novel, they give you the instructions on how to vote, and how vote is super important. Okay, like I said, it's a fucking scam. And let's pretend that voting actually worked. First of all, the majority is going to win. It's a social fame, social acceptance competition. You're not voting for the smartest politician. You're voting for the most charismatic one. That gives you the lies because he looks like a pretty cool guy and he's promising some things, and they get to the position, to the office, they don't fulfill their promises. They don't fulfill them. So the fucking NPCs, which is the majority of the world, the IQ, the low IQ is the majority. It's always quantity over quality. They are going to vote. So imagine the most moronic, foolish people are going to choose the worst, right? Let's say if voting worked, right? But we know it doesn't. Democracy doesn't work. And because it's not the government of the people. It's not the people ruling. It's the power groups. And even if it worked, It's the NPCs, the most moronic portion of the population. And let's say that, putting that aside, that they are not morons, and even people that are not morons, a lot of them do not know exactly what is needed to rule, to lead a country. So they are going to choose poorly in most cases. But even if that happens, you have the different political parties depending on the countries. You voted for your candidate. Oh, that candidate wasn't approved, didn't pass the voting, and now the voting process is reduced until the candidate that is elected, supposedly, right? This in seeing it in very idealistically, it was just put there by a very small portion of the population, usually the morons, because with so many parties, so many candidates, you have been trickled down until just a small segment chooses who is going to rule over you. So this is the thing that is not very good with this comic book, the graphic novel. If it remained within the purview of just exposing the dystopia that we are going through, perfect. But yeah, let's solve everything through voting, and yeah, it works. It definitely works. It doesn't have to do with if your proposal goes against their agenda. No, because of their goodness of their heart, they are going to help you, support you. They're going to protect the kids, right? The files. Remember the files. Always remember the Epstein files. So I have a mixed opinion. If you manage to ignore the fucking democracy propaganda, this is a good comic book because it exposes, like I said, the situation the young people are going through. But if you don't like that is pretty much a shield propaganda piece for democracy. This is a huge threat to our democracy. I don't think you will like this book. And there's a lot of woke shit. And like I said, this is not just against the wokes, right? They are awful, they are abysmal. The conservatives, the fucking religious people, the Christians, etc., they are just as bad. Just as bad. And no, don't forget about the madness of the Inquisition and the what they call the satanic panic, but it was the Christian panic. The Christians were the ones doing that. They were causing the panic and madness. So, like I said, both sides, the right and the left, the wokesters and the conservatives, they are awful. Just be human. Actually think about the kids. They are struggling enough with the whole fucking mess they have been put into. That's another problem of this comic book. It shows you the issues, but it doesn't show you how to take on those issues. Voting solves it. No. You have to take conscience, awareness. You have to wake up. Why are these kids going through this? Their parents, they have no money, so they are ready to exploit their kids. Or they have these narcissistic tendencies. In order to get fame, they want to use their kids. Always posting in social media, in videos, in photographs, everything about their kids. So those are the main issues. The social pressure, the fucking education that have been established. Thank you, Rockefeller, science fiction. Before let's say 1800s and a bit around that time, you had different schools following different schools of thought. And then, no, let's standardize education and create a whole fucking prison of the education system. In science fiction, this is not true. With a social pressure to manipulate young people to accept various ideologies, politics, religions, etc. They don't take on those issues here in this comic book. So if you just like it for the exposition, if you want to see I'm curious about the struggles of the youngsters, then you could get this comic book, but it's not going to present solutions. It's going to be a propaganda piece for democracy. There you have it. Thank you for watching this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the Super Thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, roleplay solves everything, especially in politics. Once again, thank you and see you later.